Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 hour to make the best game ever. And I have a hiccup right now, I don't know why. Okay, we should be able to get started on writing a little bit of code or copying a little bit of code around. So basically we have two references right now. We have the MachO analyzer from Johnstar and this parser from Psychana, which you can peek at. Okay, but I said first we probably want to draft the data types. I have troubles talking right now because of the hiccups. That's not good. Okay, so what we what we what we need is so we need a source file, right? Let's see. Let's do a using index t equals uint 32t. Yeah. Somehow this is unknown, probably because of include cstd int, right? If I'm not mistaken. So we probably want a struct. Probably want a struct source file or compile unit, or what do we call it? Yeah, source file is probably good enough. Source file, yeah. And this one, it contains source file. Then we can we put a struct header file. Yeah, we have a header file, and then in here we put a std vector, include vector. So we have a vector with index t, right? Index t. So this will be headers. No, or let's say header indices. We say indices to header files. It's just got header files. Oh, sorry about the hiccups. Will probably just vanish at some point. Header indices. Okay, and then we probably also need a struct function, right? Function. source file, function, function, yeah. And then we need a struct class. Yeah. Let's say alias struct. So a function will have an index t to a class index, right? Let's do a let's put const expr index t invalid index equals there we go. Okay, class index invalid index, yeah. Okay, and then so the function has a class index. Then we also need a struct base class, which also contains an index to a class, and then additionally some properties, like private properties, virtual, public, protected, private, if we can get this information. But from what I've seen, there is this information, but I don't know yet how we get this. But it's I think it's somewhere there in the RTTI. Yeah. Good. So we have properties. Yeah. And so a class can then contain std a vector index t of base classes, yeah, and that is indices to base classes. Wait, base class indices. I don't know if we actually need this comment. Base class indices. It's kind of self-explanatory, isn't it? Yeah. So here we have a to-do. Add properties. This ... whatever else is there, right? Okay, so basically a class can have multiple base classes, right? In the order that they are in this vector, and this base class basically also refers to a class and then has some properties. Is it virtual? Is it public, protected, private, and so on, right? Okay, then we have a function. So it has a relationship class. Hold on. So I think we need a relationship here, std. Base class, std vector index t. We probably need functions, right? Function indices. Yeah. Okay, that's simple enough. Function indices. And then, this function will also then have properties, right? To do add properties, like virtual, pure virtual overrides, or some, I don't know, some const and constructor, destructor, and so on, right? Like all this stuff. Yeah, it's to be determined to figure out. Okay, header file will have a std string name, that's for sure. It only needs a name. The interpretation of the name we do later, right? Like extracting the path and so on. We do that later. Okay. We need to include string. There we go. Not this string. This string. Thank you. Okay, so this is, and source file also std string name. Yeah, same thing. Okay, and this one contains header, and the header file. Header file. I mean, header file. I mean, in the header file, we also need to put declarations. So, declarations. So a header file. Oof. I mean, in the symbol table, we don't really have the concept of declarations. Right? A function is just it's just this one thing. There's no declaration, definition, separation, right? It's just we have a declaration. So how do we do this? So for example, when we look at this here, so global data.cpp, right? Do we have a global data.h? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Global data updates. Okay, so this global data, let's open a Thyme, another solution. Since we don't already have enough opened, let's open a Thyme solution here. The good is that we have a lot of references that we can inspect to get a better understanding. Since Thyme is already progressed quite a bit, we can always take a good look at it, what is already there. Global data update. Global data. Oh my gosh. What is this hiccup? I already have it since 20 minutes or so. Why is this not found? Global data. Huh? That sucks. Oh. Why? Oh, I'm stupid. It's a fire. There we go. Global data. Let's search for update function. Update. There we go. Aha. So it's empty. Okay. So a function definition. Function definition can also be in the header. So what we do is we put, where are we? Here. So a header file. Function. I think, okay, we already have this relationship. So I think the files, they don't include classes. They only include references to functions. So source file will have function indices and header file as well. Means function is defined in this file. Function is defined in this file. Yeah, just to clarify. So if it's in the header file, listed in the header file, then it's defined in there. Okay, but hold on. I think. How about we do? I don't like this. How about we create a struct function function definition or function declaration function declaration, yeah, and then we have an index t to function index, yeah. We also initialize with the invalid index here, and then we say bool we say enum class state, I don't know, state, and then we have a declaration and we have a definition. Declaration, definition. Okay, comma. There we go. And then we have it here. Let's make it uint at, and so this is state. State, yeah, m state. We shouldn't forget the m's. M state, and we'll make it declaration by default. Yeah. State. There we go. Okay. So also add a comma here. Let's add an m here. Yeah, and here as well. My gosh. Okay, there we go. Now And then we use this function declaration, and we actually put here in the header file not an index t but a declaration function declarations. Function is function. Yeah, we don't need a function is defined in this file. Yeah. Function declaration. Okay, I think this is good. Yeah. So basically, in the header file, in the header file, we still list the declarations. We still list the declarations, but we also say if it actually is defined in the function, then it's not a declaration. So it can be a definition, and then basically it looks like this here, like this, defined, done, right? Yeah, we do this. I think that's good. Then we will also have a oh shit. How about we simply put here a boolean, and we say defined in header. Defined in header. I think this would be then we can save this whole thing here. Yeah, I think that's much simpler. Let's do that, and then put here index and then function indices. There we go. Much simpler. Yeah. And yeah, basically here, if a function is in here, we expect this to be false, right? So we can put an assert as a to do. Just remove this. Okay. So we need also a struct. So basically we have here these guys. So we have statics. How do we call these guys? Static variables. Yeah, and then they will have some properties as well to do add properties like extern, what else? A const, initializer value, and so on, right? Whatever else we come up with. Yeah. Okay, and so this one will also have a name, mname, and it will also have eventually a function index if it belongs to a function, right? So like in this case here, it's inside this update function, right? Otherwise, if the function index is invalid, then it's in the global space, or in namespace maybe. Yeah, we probably need namespace as well. Function index. Base class. Class index. Base class. Variable is contained in function. Or we probably need the struct namespace std name, no, std string name and mname, and then this one needs index t parent namespace in index, yeah, and that's invalid index, yeah, parent namespace index. Maybe we should call this parent function index or owner function index. Owner function. Base class. Base class. Okay, so a namespace, and then this namespace should also contain like a vector of class indices, classes in this namespace, yeah, and then we probably also want a vector index t function indices functions in this namespace. Let's call this loose functions. So not functions that are in classes. Not in classes. Function. Valid index if contained in class. Or let's say function is contained in class. Is contained in class. Okay, so this namespace. So the namespace has a name. It has a parent namespace. Should it also record child? No, I don't think so. Probably not. I don't know. Okay, but class. Let's see. No, we basically we go by files, right? We print one file after another, and we go from function. We go, where's the function? We go from function to class. I mean, yeah. I think it must be function indices, because, for example, there could be a case where one class spreads, well, not for headers, but for source. Well, yeah, not for headers, but for source files, there could be the case that you have two CPP files, and they both define different functions for one class, right? So a class is not guaranteed to be contained in one source file only, right? Let's call this CPP. This is .h. So there can be a class can be spread across multiple CPP files, right? Regarding header, well, no, you can only have. Yeah, here we could, in theory, here we could say only loose functions and classes. But I think we can keep it consistent with how it's done here. Yeah. Okay, and then basically from the function, we would go up to class. And technically, strictly speaking, we wouldn't need this information here, I think, but we can keep it here. It's okay. Yeah, and then also when we first encounter this in a file, in a header file, then we would also look into this, and then we would go here, and then include, and then inherit, and then we would go also, and then we need to check if the class is in a namespace. So we would say here std no. Here parent namespace index. Let's say namespace is contained in another namespace. Yeah. Put some dots here. Yeah. Put the same comments here. Okay. Okay. So let's make this a bit larger here. Sorry, I still have hiccups. 40 minutes in or so. Oh, Jesus. Something's wrong. Okay. So we have a We have a namespace. That's the highest unit we can have, right? Okay, so we have static variables. The static variable function variables contain a function. So this one here can also be index t class index, invalid index, variable is contained in class, yeah. Class index, static variables. Okay, then in the class we also need to say std vector index t static variable. By the way, this should be singular, not plural. Static variable. Static variable indices. Yeah. Okay, so and the function as well. The function as well. There we go. Okay. So the static variables can be inside the class. Yeah. And also inside a function. Yeah. This looks good. And then the static variables defines what it is. And if it's not in there, hold on, class index. Then it needs to have an index t also for namespace, right? Parent namespace index variable is contained in namespace. And yeah. So I would say this one should not be just loose functions, but all functions for consistency, because like on the other places, we also have all the functions and we don't discriminate. So I would say here we also don't discriminate, because we can essentially still check if a function belongs to a class and then skip it. But for completeness sake, I would say all the functions should be listed in here, regardless of whether they are owned by a class or not. Yeah, I think that's better. All functions. Let's clarify this. All. Okay, what else? Okay, so this function declaration we can remove. That's good. Okay, this looks simple enough so far. So we have a namespace. That's the topmost thing that there can be. Well, apart from the files. Technically the files are the topmost containers, right? Okay, but they don't contain namespaces. They contain function indices. Well, they should also contain, hold on. They should also contain variables. Yeah. So here, static variable indices. There we go. I don't know if static Maybe we should just call it variable indices. Yeah, how about we call it variable? Yeah, because like there can be static or global variable. Let's just call it variable. What? Yeah, variable is what data? I don't know. I think variable is good enough. Static or global data variable. Yeah. Okay, and then we say, let's rename this to variable indices. Same here, variable indices, and here as well. Here as well, variable. Okay, a namespace. When strictly speaking, namespace can also contain variables. So let's do that as well. Variable indices. Variable indices. All variables in this namespace. Namespace. There we go. Classes in this namespace. Classes in this namespace. Not classes in this namespace does not contain. Hold on. So what if we have a class in a class, right? That's the thing. You can have a class in a class. What do we do with that? Should that be part of a namespace? I'm not sure. Classes in this name. Classes in this namespace. Oof. I don't think so, because all functions in this namespace Okay, I think this is getting confusing here. Yeah, it's getting confusing. Let's revisit this once more. We need to think about this. Okay, so a class base class. Let's put it here. Inherited classes, and then we also need to put here a std vector index t child classes. Classes in this class. Classes in this class, right? So you can have class or struct inside the class or struct, right? And then we probably also need to say here index t m parent class index, invalid index, invalid index. Let me say class namespace. Wait, this comment is wrong here. Class namespace. Class is contained in another namespace. Class is contained in a namespace. Class is contained in another class. There we go. Contained. There we go. Inherited. Oh, let's say this is a class inheritance. Class inheritance. Classes. Classes inside this class. Yeah. Let's clarify this as well. Functions inside this class. And here variables inside this class, which only will be statics. Statics. Okay. What else? Okay, this is already good progress. Relationship. What else? Let's go through this. So we have a namespace. A namespace has a name. Yeah. It has a parent namespace or none. It contains classes. Okay, let's look at this last. Think about it. Let's go others first. Okay, so a header file. A header has a name. A source file has a name as well. A source file has headers. Header indices. It contains functions and variables. We don't need to put classes in here or namespaces because the functions will say if they are contained in a class or in a namespace. On that note, hold on. How about we call this parent class index? And then here, so a function can also be a namespace. So parent namespace index class function is contained in namespace. Function is contained in class. Variables inside this class, and this is defined in header. Okay. What else do we need? So let's go again. So in the header file or in the source file, we have function indices, variable indices. Header indices here means we just refer to this, and then we can just print like include this, include that, include this, right? It's simple enough. Okay, here Okay, now we also have enums, right? I don't know how these play a role, but we have enum info. So my suspicion is that we have a class. Class. I wonder if we should use a class also as an enum type. Maybe not. It doesn't contain functions. No, I think so. If I don't know yet if enum is there, but so let's call this enum, struct enum. Std string name. So this one can contain this here. By the way, class should also have a name. Totally forgot about that. Yeah, mname, by the way. So this as well, mname. So and the enum can also be contained in the namespace or in the class. Enum. Okay, and then we have add properties. Add properties. I think there was like a type and whatever else we find. Type. Maybe values. Type values. Question mark. Question mark. Okay. Okay, how should the enum be linked with these guys? I guess we should have here std vector index t enums enum indices and probably also in the class child class indices, by the way. Enum indices, enums inside this class. Well, then the question is, should we also put it here? Enums, maybe. Buh. Let's put it here for now. Enum indices. Let's put a question mark here. Okay, inside a function, in theory, you could also have, I mean, in theory, we could also have classes and enums inside functions. Oof. It is possible. It's likely that this happens maybe at some point. Oof. It's also possible to put functions inside functions, right? Wait, let's Google this. C++ function inside function. Is that legal? You cannot define a function inside another function. You can use classes or lambda. Yeah, classes. Okay. Then class indices. Then let's also let's put here class indices, classes inside this function. Std vector index t enum indices enums inside this function, likely empty. Most likely empty. Most likely empty. It's probably 99% of times this will be empty, maybe even 100%. Maybe there's never a class inside, but we should probably prepare for this event. Maybe this happens, right? Okay. Anything else? Oof, it's more complicated than I thought. But it is okay. It's okay. So we have namespace, parent namespace index. A namespace is contained in another namespace. Okay, how about we do here? Sorry about this. We only do direct classes, and here direct functions in this namespace, direct variables in this namespace, direct enums in this namespace, aka not contained in classes. Not contained in other classes. Not contained. Okay. I think this makes more sense. Yeah. Variable indices. Okay, did we miss anything? It's possible that we missed something. Oh my gosh, this hiccup, man. Okay, let's think about it. So we have namespace, and the namespace can have a parent. It can contain classes, loose functions, static or global variables, and enums. Anything else? I mean, in theory, there can also be type defs, but type defs, we don't have any information about this, right? So type defs is it's not a thing. No. No. Good. Then we have the enum. The enum also has a name. It has a parent namespace eventually, or a parent class, or a parent function, right? Parent function index. Enum is contained in class, in function. Oh. Variable. Wait, let's look at this once more. So enum name can be contained here. Okay. Okay, variable name is contained in function. How about we parents? Okay, how about we call this parents function index, parents class index. We move the class here, same as this one. Okay. Okay, base class has a class index and properties, right? Class. Base class. Function. Where's function? Here. Virtual, pure virtual, override constructor, destructor. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look here if we missed anything. It's possible that we missed something. But I think we got most of the things covered. Sorry about that. Header indices. Header indices. Header indices. We also need to have the lookup tables. Like we need to look up headers by name, right? By the way, class, we probably also want a std string demangled. Demangled. sorry about that. Okay, actually, let's do a name, and then here at the function we put the origin name, the std string mangled name as found in symbols, as seen in symbol table. There we go. Yeah, then class, I don't think we need that. We only store, so functions will have mangled, and I think variables, will variables have mangled names? I think so, eventually, right? Mangled. And enum as well. Namespace, I don't know. Let's confirm this before we commit to that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's search for, oh shit, how do we find this? Yeah, here, no, this is a function. I don't know if there can be a mangled enum. Maybe not. Let's remove this for now. For function, we definitely know. Class, no. So a function, we definitely have one, but for the others, name. Okay. Needed. I think so. Oh. Oh man. I think this is needed. And this as well. Yeah. Okay, anything else? Okay, then essentially we will have using std, no, source files equals std vector source file, right? And we will have header files with header file. Then we will have functions, function. Then we will have classes, class, and variables, variable, enums enum namespace. Oh yeah, namespaces we need as well. Yeah. Namespaces, namespace, and this one base class we don't need because this is directly. Actually, hold on. I think this needs to be direct here because it's unique to every class. Yeah, this needs to be here. So we call this base classes. There we go. One of the exceptions. The others are all indexed. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? We then probably also need using index name to namespace index map or string. Yeah, no, name to namespace index map. And that there will be std unordered map std string index t. There we go. Then we include unordered map. Okay. Then we will have name to enum index map. Actually, we can just do it's just string to index map. Done. There we go. Okay, anything else? Let's look at this once more. Source file contains, let's call this header file indices. There we go. Header file indices, function indices, variable indices, enum indices. Looks good. Header file can also contain function indices, variable indices, enum indices. Okay. Function contains name, mangled name, parent namespace, parent class index, defined in header. Is defined in header. Class index, variable indices, enum indices. Class alias struct contains a name, parent namespace, or parent class, base classes, class inheritance, a child class, function indices, variable indices, enum indices. Base class is this guy, yeah. A variable, this has a name, parent namespace, class index, function index. Enum name, parent namespace, parent properties type values. Okay. Namespace, name, parent, class, this. Okay. To me, this looks okay so far. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know why it's now running CMake again. Did we change anything? I don't recall. Okay, compiled. Good. Then then let's compile, let's submit this. So this is a draft, draft main symbol relationships. Let's say symbol structures and relationships. Struct function, header file, source file, namespaces, enums. Draft symbol structures and relationships. Okay. Good. Yeah, is there anything else we can say? I'm too tired now. I need a break. Also 1 hour, 16, yeah. I think we got a good chunk done. Yeah, I think this is good. We drafted. I don't expect this to be final, but I would like to have something that I can, work with to begin with, to start populating things, right? I suspect that there will be some corrections, but overall, I think this is roundabout the structure that we have. I wouldn't know any major thing that is missing. I mean, most important are the files, right? The files. What we can do is we can take a look here at the draft from Psychana to see if he has any other interesting thing here. So he has a symbol T. Symbol T. Yeah. Well, a function is a symbol. Static IDs. What is that? Source file, start end, source lang, object, mod time. Yeah. File static IDs. Class info name, vtable 0. Vtable. That's a good question. Well, okay, that's actually a good question. Do we need some special vtable information in here, or is it enough to just list functions? Is a virtual function a function? I'm not sure. Hold on. Let's try to figure it out. So let's look for vtable. Yeah, vtable 4. Okay. Let's look for some other for mouse. Yeah, mouse. Okay, then we take this guy and we go here, mouse. Yeah. So there's a type info for mouse and some functions. Mouse, mouse, mouse. Pure virtual. Look at that. Pure virtual. Uh. Okay, that's a good question. vtable. I mean, here we have mouse functions. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If we look at mouse here, let's probably have it, right? Mouse. Here we go. So mouse is inheriting subsystem interface. So it has an init, reset, and so on, blah, blah, blah. Get mouse event. So pass ini, and then afterwards it has a pure virtual init cursor. How do we know? Oof. How do we know what this one is? This pure virtual. Oh. Shit. I don't know. How do we know? How did they know this? I don't know. I think there's something we need to research a bit. Yeah. Okay. It is something we can figure out. But to me right now, I would really like to know right now, actually, but I'm tired. I think I need a break. I don't get rid of my hiccups. Yeah, I don't understand where this knowledge comes from. Yeah. I don't understand. Okay, let me ask. I think one of the guys in Thyme chat will know this. Let's go here. Oof, this is apparently too long. Too long of a message. Maybe we can make it shorter. Let me see. There we go. It is shorter now. There we go. How do we know? How do we know? How do we know what these pure virtuals refer to? And how do we know what these pure virtuals refer to? I think that's my only question. For the other ones, for the override, we can look into the parent class and the base class, and then see if it has any function with the same interface, same name and arguments. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. I will submit this now. Draft symbol structures and relationships. Commit. There we go. Okay, let me push that. Push. And done. Okay, good. Good. Then also for completeness sake, let me put this here. Here. Copy. I have now drafted. I've now drafted structures and relationships. Draft structures and relationships. This should be roughly what we generate. Should be roughly what we generate, what we fill and generate with. What we need together. Okay, good. Then I think I will quit it here. Yep. I think that was a good session. Got a bit of stuff done. Then I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.